What is good, YouTube? I'm going to give y'all a quick hitter for the morning to get y'all back excited about basketball and the season upcoming. LeBron, Boogie, Chris Paul, Paul George, KD, headlines, free agency. But we can't forget the smaller people like Nerlens Noel going to the Oklahoma City Thunder. It's actually a 2-year deal. He gets 4.1 million this year, and he has a player option to opt out. Nerlens Noel was one of my favorite players in that draft. He was obviously the number one overall pick until he messed up his knee. Then he slid to number 6, and then they ended up trading him anyway. He has yet to find a home. Didn't really get that much playing time in Philly because of the injury. And then they ended up getting a lot of bigs, so like Jalil and Joel Embiid. So they really didn't need him. They traded him for a couple picks to Dallas. Dallas actually needed him. He was an athletic center, defensive minded, can get steals, can protect the rim, had a little bit more to add to his offensive game. Um, but he's 24. He's far from a finished product, and Dallas was willing to build around him. And you can't really be mad at them because you see a guy with this type of potential. Plus, with the roster that he was on, they didn't really utilize him right. But you got to put blame on Nerlens Noel. He didn't put the work in. He didn't care enough. He didn't want it enough. And the Dallas Mavericks still offered him a $70 million contract, which he ended up turning down, which was surprising because you're getting $70 million guaranteed, and now he's only getting a $4 million deal from OKC per year. If he opts out of his contract because he has a player option, he can become a free agent next year when there's more teams with cap space and money. Maybe he can sign a long-term deal next year, but he definitely should have tried to stay in Dallas because they wanted him. They traded for him. They offered him a job security and a $7 million contract. Not only that, they really wanted him to be an integral part of their pieces. An integral piece to their puzzle, having Dennis Smith Jr., Luka Doncic, and Harrison Barnes on board. A couple more years of dirt, probably, and Nerlens Noel could have had grew and maybe possibly made this team into a playoff team if he would have stayed, and he would have got his money, and he would have got a pivotal role in general. But now that he turned down the offer with Dallas, let's focus on OKC. This is a team that I'm starting to like a lot more. Their bench has got significantly better over the last 2 years. That's something that they struggled to do with Russell Westbrook being there. Now they got a bench of Alex Abrinas. Um, that these are the people that's still on the roster. Alex Abrinas, Patrick Patterson, um, Kyle Singler, Josh Hustis, who came out of college. He's going to be a solid pickup. And they still got Terrence Ferguson. Then you add Nerlens Noel, give you a backup center, something that you really lacked. A guy that can come in and give Steven Adams a break, give him some rest. Now they have the ability to have a defensive anchor in there when Steven Adams is on the bench, and they can always go small with Patrick Patterson at the 5 and have a floor spacing lineup while still being able to switch and score a little bit on smaller guards with either Nerlens or, like I said, Patrick Patterson. Um, that add another lineup that adds some more versatility. But this Thunder roster is far from being over. Remember, you can even run Jeremiah Grant at the 5. He's long, he's lanky, he's agile, he's mobile. He's a defensive guy. And you can still put Patterson at the 4 if you want to, and Carmelo at the 3, and PG at the 2, and Russell at the point. But remember, you still got Robertson, so you can still go lanky with Russell, Robertson, Carmelo, Paul George, and Adams. And like I said, if he goes to the bench, you can still throw in Nerlens, and you won't really miss that much of a beat. Offensively, you might dip a little bit, but defensively and rebounding, you should be fine with Nerlens Noel in there. And you only paying him $4.1 million to be seventh or eighth man and just a backup just in case Steven Adams go down to injury or you need to give him a blow. So I like this pickup. I feel like Nerlens should have took advantage of that 4-year, $70 million deal. I don't know why he would think he's worth more money. He hasn't really played a full season. He was even injured in Dallas. And on top of that, he never showed that he was a max player. Even in Philly, when he was getting major minutes, he showed that he can continue to improve, that he has a lot of potential. but he never showed that he can be a franchise guy or one of the best centers in the league. He showed potential that he could be, but he never even dominated one season or even showed you the potential of being a dominant offensive or defensive player, which is shocking that he didn't take the $70 million from Dallas. Oh well, they gave it to DeAndre Jordan and a couple other pieces for that bench. They moved on, Nerlens moved on, and now he look kind of silly getting a 4-year deal, and that's as much as he got for this whole free agency, and didn't really even get that many offers, and he should have just stayed with Dallas and got paid, and he would have been even better because they was going to start him next year. So we'll see what happens. OKC, they got the advantage. OKC is the better team. They're trying to build them a playoff contender this year. A lot of their contracts came off the books. A lot of guys they got to re-sign. They're going to be looking for veterans to take little money, and they're going to be looking for players in summer league to fill out the rest of that roster with some cheap contract with some guys that can come in and produce. You still need backups to Russell. You still need backups to Adams and not Adams, but Roberson and PG. You need backups for them, and they'll find some cheap people. They already got some rookies on this contract. Rookies on this team, and they already got Terrence Ferguson and stuff. But you still want as much depth as you can. This is an NBA where you're getting the overseas players, you're getting the college players, you're getting the G League players, and you get the undrafted players, and you can try them all out in summer league. And whoever make the roster, you're not paying them that much. You're not giving them that much cash. And you can fill out the roster with some solid players now because there's so much access to these players. But Nerlens Noel is a player that you prefer to have, and you should be glad that you have. And at the end of the day, now you have somebody that you can rely on, that you know he can give you off that bench at that center spot. I don't really think Dakari is that guy right now, but Nerlens should be able to give him some quality minutes this year. Check out my website, analysisplayground.com. Link in the description in the comment section below. Check out my Facebook page, analysisplayground.com. Link in the description in the comment section below. Quinn Wade, Basketball Analysis. I'm gone, and let me know what you guys think about this pickup.